Hey guys, so I wanted to kind of go over what you were doing today just to make sure and try and answer any questions that I could. You have your 2 pages in your instruction book, page 20 and 21, and then you have the 2 pages of practice in your practice book. Today you're going to be working with graphing equivalent ratios. We talked yesterday about solving equivalent ratios, which is where we found the unit rate, and then we could use the unit rate and we could multiply the unit rate by our bottom number and then get our top number. Unit rate by our next bottom number, get our top number, and so on. Today you are going to be working with the same thing, but you're going to be doing with graph. You're going to be doing it with graphing. So your word problem today is a 4-ounce serving of yogurt has 8 grams of protein. How many grams of protein are in a 10-ounce serving? How many grams of protein are in a 16-ounce container? So it's really similar to what you did yesterday. You can see down here at the model, they have the 4-ounce serving to 8 grams of protein. They found the unit rate that there's 2 grams of protein in every ounce of yogurt. So the unit rate is 2, and if you do 2 times 4, that gives you 8. 2 times 8 is 16, 2 times 10 is 20, and so on. So these give you your equivalent ratios, but they also give you an ordered pair. So you can look down here at the graph. If your ounces of yogurt are on your x-axis and your grams of protein are on the y-axis, you can use these ratios as ordered pairs. So your x would be your yogurt up here at the top, and your y would be your protein down here at the bottom. Or sorry, yeah, your y would be your protein down here at the bottom. So my first ordered pair would be 1 and then 2. So I'd go over 1 and up to 2. My next one would be 4 to 8. So I would go over 4 and up to 8. And then you could see that the trend would continue and it would actually make a line. So that's a good way to check that if yours doesn't make a line, then you went wrong somewhere. But whenever you put equivalent ratios on a graph, it should make one solid line, or not solid line, but it should make one line that if you connected the dots, it's a line. For the connected problems, you're going to do the same thing we just did. What's the ratio? So what does it give you in the problem? How many? It's asking for the unit rate in number 10. This one, it's asking for those ordered pairs. So take the equivalent ratios. 1 yogurt was to how many? 4 ounces was to 8 grams, 10 ounces is to how many, and so on. How are the numbers in each ordered pair related? To answer that, you would just need to look at what each one stands for. The ordered pair 10-20 means 10 ounces to how many grams of protein. So it's just having you take these same numbers and make sure you know what they stand for. And then finally, this is our lovely explain problem. You have 2 try it questions down here where you just do the same thing. It doesn't give you a table. You can make one your own if you want. You don't really even have to graph anything. It's just finding the equivalent ratios. So find your unit rate first. You have your ratio of 20 to 4 because it's asking how long would it take him to go 12 miles. So you're going to do minutes to miles. So 20 divided by 4 gives you your unit rate, and then take that unit rate and multiply it by 12. Same thing down here, but remember, your price always has to go first when you divide. So this one would be 90 divided by 5. After you do this, you're going to do those 2 practice pages that are listed. Remember, our agenda on the board has those 2 pages listed. Um, Also, if you weren't aware, if you go into, not that, if you go into Schoology and go into our class, it has what we're doing today. So today's Friday. So it says right here. So we just went over page 20 and 21. You're going to do page 23 and 24 in your practice book. There's one other thing I want you to do after this because I really don't think this will take you the whole time. But I want you to do a worksheet that the substitute has for you. It's just graphing equivalent ratios. So it's just practice what you've been doing. First, you're going to complete the table. There's 2 different ways to get from one to the other. You can multiply or divide. So 4 times 2 and then 6 times 2, they have to be the same amount. Or you can divide 80 divided by what is 60 and so on. The unit rate issue also works. Once you get all of these 4 filled out, all you have to do is put the dots on the graph to make that line. So the first one would be 2 to 60, and it tells you the bags and the weight. So the bags are your X, the weight is your Y. So I'd go over to 2 and then I'd go up to 60 and put my dot. And then I'd go over to 4 and up to however much to put my dot. Then there's a question that says to explain how it can be used to check it. Um, I'm going on Monday. I will be there to check all this work, then make sure that you've done it. I'm going to check your workbook, make sure your pages are filled out. I'm going to check your practice book to make sure you have page 23 and 24. And then I'm going to have the sub take up and leave for me the graphing page to see what you got done with that. So make sure that you're on task and you're doing your very best. And I will see you all on Monday. Have a good weekend.